absolutely delicious. Please grab one, pass them on out, and find the gold that brought you here. May your riches be found as best you can, and may precious gold fill your pan. Cheers!
Cheers!
Nor that one. Uh-oh. I'm getting a little concerned about our find here. Training camp. Learn a little bit about the gold rush of 1898 and as much as we can about gold in the next little bit before we go try to find it ourselves. All right, y'all, we're going to head up this way. So how are the dogs today? They behave themselves? All right, that's what I like to hear. They are wonderful pups. So well trained, so hard working.
They're very loving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their reaction as soon as you hook them up to that sled is what impresses me every time.
Amazing.
They're just ready to go. All right, and we're heading this way. Staying all together into our tunnel of gold. We'll see some representations of how important gold has been to humanity, truly since the dawn of time. Right here we just have an image of gold in its beautiful pure form. A nice rare nugget. Of course we have jewelry and ornamentations that go back to 45 BC, 4500 BC. This is the oldest known gold in the world, found in present-day Bulgaria. Famously, we have King Tut's burial mask, adorned in beautiful gold. Some of the earliest known currency here from present-day Turkey, the Lydian Empire. Gold is great for currency because it can be molded very easily, as well as be snapped off. And you can actually sort of make old school change that way as they were weighing gold. Banks foreclosed, houses foreclosed. In some cities, the unemployment rate was as high as 40%. It was a very, very desperate time for a lot of folk. And there wasn't much light on the horizon. And then in 1896, up in Rabbit Creek in the Yukon Territory, George and Kate Carmack, Skookum Jim, and Dawson Charlie discovered gold. That discovery changed the course of the Klondike region. In 1897, on July 17th, the USS Portland arrived in Seattle. Men started unloading chests and chests of gold. Some came out with $5,000 worth. Some came out with $100,000 worth of gold. Now that sounds like a lot of money to a lot of you. Take into account this is 1899.
Wow.
That gold is worth about $3 million today that was being unloaded from that boat. The Seattle Post-Intelligencer released a late edition shouting gold, 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 gold. From that point on, the stampede was on to the Yukon. People just like you and I dropped their lives at home and headed up to the Yukon Territory. They were bankers and lawyers and laborers. Heck, even the mayor of Seattle dropped his politics and headed on up to the Yukon Territory to try his hand at gold prospecting. But it wasn't that easy to get there. And if you follow me this way, I'll share with you why. Padre? outside and that's going to echo. You can file on in both sides of this table. Pull out those Chichaco handbooks if you want to play along. About 10 miles down the road, you could hike the Chilkoot Trail. Now the Chilkoot Trail is 33 miles long. The White Pass is 45. So you might think, why would anyone take the White Pass? Well, we can tell by this photo of the Chilkoot, it is unforgiving terrain. It is incredibly steep in sections. This is known as the Golden Staircase, and it was stairs literally carved into the ice and snow. You'd hike up single file, all the way up those 45 miles, 33 miles rather, single file, to get to the top where you'd meet Lake Bennett. Now what might y'all think you need with you to accomplish this journey? Anyone have any ideas? Food, for sure. What kind of food might you want to bring with you?
A Big Mac.
A Big Mac? I bet those prospectors were wishing they had a Big Mac handy.
Jerky.
Jerky, that's a great one. Some canned foods maybe, some things that won't spoil. You see you're heading up to the Klondike for about a year at least.
Water.
Water, absolutely. Or something to carry fresh water in at least. What about your clothing? You're heading up into the tundra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, furs. Furs.
So you want some furs, you want a good pair of boots. Y'all probably need a tent, some sleeping bags.
Weapons.
Weapons were not a bad idea.
Weapon.
And then your tools.
Pick.
A pick, a shovel, a pan.
Yeah.
Those are all things you might want with you. Unfortunately, it wasn't entirely up to you. You see, the Northwest Mounted Police had seen enough untrained, unprofessional prospectors head on into the Klondike that they established a list of things that you needed to bring with you. And it was called the Ton of Goods. And that was not hyperbole, folks. It was a list of materials weighing nearly 2,000 pounds. 150 pounds of bacon, 400 pounds of flour, not nearly enough coffee as far as I'm concerned, and only 10 pounds for a year? I don't think so. There ain't no Starbucks up there in the Klondike. Your tools. You needed a stove with you.
That's right.
You needed coffee, teapots, pickaxes,
How about a lantern?
saws, ropes, tents. 2,000 pounds worth of equipment. And then you had to hike the White Pass or the Chilkoot. Now I don't know about y'all, but I can't carry 2,000 pounds of equipment on my back. Can anyone else? Now say you're a big strong person and you can take 50 pounds for those 33 or 45 miles. You're still hiking over 40 trips up and back to get all your equipment to the shores of Lake Bennett, where the Northwest Mounted Police would check it out and make sure you had enough. That's thousands and thousands of miles of hiking, y'all. In the dead of winter. Through snow, through sleet, through some of the most inhospitable weather you're ever going to see. Now, when you got to the shores of Lake Bennett, you weren't done. You were still 550 miles from the gold fields.
Wow.
You were at the shores of a lake, which led to the Yukon River. Now, does anyone see a boat on that list? No, you do not. You had to make one. Or, if you were one of the privileged, you could purchase a boat from some entrepreneurs, we'll call them, set up on the shores of Lake Bennett. And then you sailed across the lake, joined the Yukon River, and sailed 550 miles to Dawson. Treacherous water. In May of 1899, when the ice broke and these ships launched, over 6,000 boats, just like you see behind y'all, headed on down. Not all of them made it. They were shoddily built, rushed water. Now, folks, which would you rather take? The Y Pass or the Chilkoot?
The Y Pass?
The Y Pass?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, there was a journalist who wrote about that, and he said, didn't matter which one you took, you'd always wished you'd take the other one. Now, folks, that's about enough background on the gold rush. We're going to head out shortly to our training camp. But first, if Padre's ready, there he is right on cue. I'm going to send you off to the gold fields with a little toast. So this right here is our house-made root beer. It is made right here on site in a partnership with one of the local breweries. Absolutely delicious. Please grab one, pass them on out, and find the gold that brought you here. May your riches be found as best you can, and may precious gold fill your pan. Cheers!
Cheers!
Now as we exit out the other side, there is a trash barrel. Would be doing up in the Klondike. It's a little different from what's called lode mining, which might be something you're thinking about with pickaxes and dynamite. Now, placer mining, the water has done most of the work for us. You see, for eons, the rivers have been running across those veins of gold, and they've exposed them to the elements, and they've broken them down and deposited them primarily in sandbanks. So when you think you got a good spot, you start placer mining, and there's 4 steps to it. You dig, you agitate, you clean, and you collect. So when you dig, you're really hoping you got yourself some pay dirt. Pay dirt is dirt that is suspected to have gold in it. Today we have our sluice loaded up with some pay dirt. And I hope that this dirt pays off, otherwise this demonstration is going to be very anticlimactic. So this is what's called a sluice box, folks. You see, we've got our pay dirt loaded up atop. We have these wooden riffles, which are there to catch the gold. We also have underneath a thing called cocoa matting that catches the smaller fragments, the gold dust and the gold flake. So real quick, y'all, I'm going to show you the basic principles of placer mining using water. Who wants to find some gold?
Yeah.
All right. So as I said, we have our pay dirt loaded. We get our water source going. And we cross our fingers and hope for the best. Oh, and we got nuggets. Hey, you, hey, you, hey, you, have we got nuggets. Now we got to figure out if these nuggets are real or not, y'all.
No.
These are pretty good sized nuggets right here. You want a nugget?
If it's real.
You want a nugget? All right, well, you're going to have to help me test them. You want a nugget? There you go. So we have several simple tests to decide if these nuggets are real. We can follow along in our Chichaco handbook to the assaying portion. Now, the first test is called the porcelain test. Now, gold, because it is so soft, when scraped against porcelain, it will leave a yellow streak. So we've got a piece of porcelain here. We've got a gold nugget. Let's go ahead and give that a scrape. That does not look like a gold mine to me. Anyone else want to try their nugget? Messed up your nugget? Uh-oh. Yeah, we're just seeing black lines here, y'all. So I think that might be a thumbs down in the porcelain test. Oh, shucks. All right, well, we're going to move on to the next test, which is called the Mohs scale. Invented by a German scientist, the Mohs scale works on the hardness and softness of a material. Number 1 on the Mohs scale is talc, as in talcum powder, baby powder. Very fine, very soft. Anyone guess what a number 10 might be? A diamond, absolutely. Gold sits at about a 2.5 on the Mohs scale. And steel sits at about a 6. So if this is a real nugget, this steel nail should be able to scratch that gold nugget. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing a scratch on that one. Nor that one. Uh-oh. I'm getting a little concerned about our find here.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down on that. Well, there's still hope, y'all. We've got the magnet test.
Oh, that's gonna work.
You see, gold is not magnetic. So if this magnet sticks to the gold like it sticks to this nail, well, we're out of luck. But let's take a look. All right. All right, not magnetic. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere here, y'all. So that right there is a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Next is the weight. You see, gold is 6 to 9 times heavier than any rock or mineral of its shape and size. So if we grab this gold, now I've been doing this for a long time, so I can estimate here without a corresponding rock. And unfortunately, folks, this may not be gold today. Better luck next time.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we will find gold today. I guarantee it.